three sons. Chuck doesn't speak a lot, and also Chuck's here, and Lisa, his sister, are here. The other family that you haven't heard from, we've all kind of gone on this journey together. And I'm all over the place. I'm kind of like Jackson Pollock with my ideas, so just kind of bear with me. Like it's going to be a little spotty. That's okay. So, and as the slideshow the things I took away from the slideshow were a couple different things. One, Erik had amazing eyes that, if we were like maybe biologically related, I wish I had those. And god damn, my mother is fucking beautiful. I mean, did you see that? Like, it was like every picture you're just like, oh my god, like, she is fucking gorgeous. So that was, every picture you're just like, damn, wow. It's just like, wow. It's like, you kind of live with her, but it's just like a little bit, like, it was that much every time I saw it in the picture. So, and I'd also like to just take a moment to thank Derek. He kind of put his life on hold, and he was the primary caregiver for Erik. Being there for someone in their decline it's really hard. And I'm going to curse a lot. Actually, I do a lot of tangents, but I'm going to curse a lot. I let the fucks fly. And nobody brought a child except for me, and actually I don't even see them, but it's kind of hard to see. Oh, never mind. I see them. They're up there. We move them away. They're the ones running around. It's really hard to see up here. My eyes are a little spotty, but there they are. So nobody else has to worry about the curse words of me. Do as I say, not as I do. Kind of, that's how we roll. So Derek, thank you for putting your life on hold. Erik kind of became a little bit of a burden, which it's really hard when you transition into that part of your life and you become more of a burden. It's not a role that he was comfortable with. He moved into a phase where Erik was a little bit pushing people out, and he just needed some space as he was kind of coming near the end. And Derek was there when it was the toughest, and his dedication and love kind of shined through as Erik was very stubborn, and you had to put up with a lot. And so for that, a lot of people don't understand what Derek really had to put up with, but it was a lot. On behalf of the family, we'd like to thank the Florida Theater for letting this happen. There's no other place that this should have happened. When we were making plans, to be honest, we thought it'd be great to have it here, but we didn't think it would. And we got a call from Saul, and it was just like, things need to happen here, and I've kind of paved the way. I'd like to thank EL for hosting. You did an amazing job. Katie for the amazing programs. You did amazing. The programs were just far and away better than anybody could imagine. Kendall and Brian, you guys were the glue that kind of binded the whole thing together. Scotty Hayes, the slideshow it was too much. The slideshow was amazing. Thank you for everyone that drank with my mom this week. We needed it. I drank a lot too. I think I gained 10 pounds this week. It was a lot rougher than I thought, to be honest. And anybody that drank with my mom this week, it was thank you. I'd like to thank the staff at Florida Theater for just putting this together. I know it took a lot of effort, and some of you might be new and didn't even know it, but we appreciate that you did put the effort forward. I'd like to thank Saul Lucia, not for anything in particular, because there's too many things to list probably, but you were here through it all. I'm kind of going off script a little bit. I'm kind of reading a little bit, so kind of bear with me. As far as this building goes, it started 31 years ago. A family of 5 came here on the weekend just to kind of see the theater where their father was going to work. E.T. was showing. I was 8, Chuck was 9, Derek was 4. Mom still looked like she was 29. I have no idea how old she was, but she probably looked like she was 29. We were just amazed by just the character of the whole building and just the majesty of it. And
I mean, I was 8, I don't really, to me it was just overwhelming, you know, there was like E.T. was showing, everybody was downstairs, we were upstairs, we were doing all kinds of dumb shit. It was like, we were behind the screen, we were doing all kinds of, we were upstairs, it was like, we found probably 100 boxes of Reese's Pieces, with bags of Reese's Pieces in it. We opened every box. And we didn't understand that was frowned upon until on Tuesday after Erik went to work, and it was like, oh, by the way, new boss person, like, your kids opened every box, now we can't send them back. It was a little bit frowned upon. But that day, as we walked around and saw this place, on the way out, Mom just kind of stopped us, and there was the 5 of us, and she just said, hey, can you do this? And he literally looked at all of us, and he was just like, how hard can it be? And I don't know, like, you're a little kid, you're just like, yeah, I guess so. Like, how hard can it be? You have no idea. So that was just kind of his attitude. And in the time that we had together, he taught me a lot of things, but one of those things was to use the phrase, how hard can it be? And fuck it, buy her the purse. And he taught me to answer as a questions like, who gives a shit? And that's a little bit of a hard one, but some dads teach you to throw a baseball. Some dads teach you to ride a bike. Erik didn't teach us those types of things. Instead, he taught us to look at the world differently. He taught us to see the world with no preconceived biases, to know, like, color didn't matter, and, you know, sexual orientation didn't matter. And in their wedding, in Mom and Erik's wedding, the best man was a black gay man. But we didn't know that. You know, we were in the 2nd grade, and no one told us that the best man was a black guy. I mean, I knew he was black, even though I was in the 2nd grade. I understood that he was African American. I didn't know he was black, not because it didn't kind of matter. It was, they fostered this environment where things like sexual orientation and color weren't something that you even need to attach an emotion to. It was just like, if someone's hair is blonde, if someone's hair is black, it's like, they're gay, they're black, they're white. It was just this, that was how we thought. And, you know, to put your children in that light to where they think that way, it's a strong thing because it sets them up for the rest of their life. You know, we never discussed politics in the house. And it wasn't that it was frowned upon, it was just, there wasn't a lot to talk about. It was, you know, you like who you like for whatever reason, and good for you. You get a vote, like who the fuck you want to like. We don't care. Like, this is your vote. And we didn't have to, like, have a big argument and be demonstrative and build a consensus in the house as far as who you were going to vote for. It really didn't matter. It was your decision. And it's really kind of freeing. And the same thing went for religion. It wasn't that we weren't allowed to talk about religion. Erik wasn't very religious. And stuff like this, he did sort of frown upon, but we also don't care. So it was like, for him, it was like, believe what you want to believe. That has nothing to do, like, as parents, what we decide and what we believe, that has nothing to do with what you believe. And for a lot of people, that's very hard. That's very difficult to understand, but it's also very freeing for children to just kind of go through life and understand, like, no, you're free to make your own decisions. And that set him apart, and my mom, I mean, both, but she's alive. So. But like I said, both of them apart as far as setting us up for the rest of our lives. Some other things that you probably don't know about Erik is his favorite holiday was September 19th. Right, exactly. It's National Speak Like a Pirate Day. And he didn't call me a lot, but every September 19th, the phone would ring, and I would answer, and it's like, hello, and it's like, arrgh. Happy Speak Like a Pirate Day, Russell, and you're just like, fuck, it's fucking Speak Like a Pirate Day. And you're like, how's it going? And he's like, have a great day, and it's like, that's it. Like, there was nothing else to really talk about. Probably his second favorite day was fucking Flag Day. Like, we had this thing in Eden Hills where we always had a weird flag hanging out. And one day, Danny Freeman comes over, there's a flamingo flag out. And Danny says to Erik, what country is that? And Erik looks at him and says, don't be a fucking idiot, Danny. Like, from that day forward, every day, remember when Danny thought that was a country? And it's like, not really. Like, Danny didn't think that was a country. You can't really. Some things you guys probably didn't know about Erik was he was an amazing cook. Like, he used to do the light shit on fire, do weird shit in the kitchen kind of thing all the time. But if there's anything I can tell you guys, the best peanut butter sandwich in the world is made with putting butter on a piece of bread, putting it in a toaster oven, and then toasting it, and then putting peanut butter on it. It'll change your life. It's amazing. But you'll light the house on fire if you do a normal toaster oven, so don't do that. Which we also had a couple fires in our house. Because he always did this, and then we did it, and then we weren't as good, so we did a couple of that. One year, as a family, we visited Boston. I was in elementary school, and I got a shirt that said Harvard on it. And I wore it all the time, and I told everybody I was going to go to Harvard or Yale. And in our house, it was just, good for you, do that. I didn't understand until I was in probably middle school that he went to Brown and Harvard. He never told us. And it was like, I didn't know who Brown was, to be honest, until I found he went there, and it was like, Brown is in the Ivy League. And you need to understand that that's on the same level as Harvard and Yale. And it's like, you went there? And it's like, yes. It's like, your father went to Brown, and then he went to Harvard, and he never talked about it. And you're wearing this shirt, and it's like, I'm this person that's so smart, I'm gonna go to Harvard, I'm gonna do this stuff. And it's like, at the same time, you're living with someone who's actually done that. And he had this arrogance about him, this quiet arrogance, but he wasn't a self-promoter. And you wouldn't know about it. And I only knew he went to Brown because my mom told me. And it's like, you know he went to Brown. It's like, well, what's Brown? It's like, it's Ivy League, and then he went to Harvard, and you're like, you'd ask him about it, and it's like, yeah, so what? So what? And you're just like, it puts things in perspective, because as a kid, those things are very attainable now, because you're like, oh my God, this dude that lived in the house with us, he's raising us. There's a path to legitimately do this dream thing that you did. Of course, I didn't do that, because that's just hard. I went to UF, which is the Harvard of Jacksonville. That's what I call it. But it was like, if I went there, it'd be on my car, it'd be on the license plate, like it'd be like, I went to Brown, bitches. It'd be like, fuck you, like every chance I got, that shit would come up in conversation. Like, and it was so blasé. I don't know if that's the right word. It was kind of flowing at this point. I got a little buzz going on. So it's like, yeah, I went to Brown. Like, it was just a thing. It wasn't a thing. And that's what made it so much fucking cooler, because it was just like, yeah, I did that. And you can do that. And after you do that, you know what? It don't mean shit. And someone can have an Ivy League education, and instead of commanding more money in the world, they can come to a place like this, and they meet people, and they make these relationships. And he had this sphere of influence here, which was worth more than money. And all the relationships he made with, I can't see you guys, there's a lot of light. You don't understand what it's like this over here. But the relationships he made with all of you guys that worked here is amazing. And it was worth more than money. There wasn't a lot of wanting to go somewhere else, or wanting to do something else, or make more money. It was just, he wanted to make this place great. So, as far as dad jokes go, like, dad jokes has their own genre at this point, but he had the market cornered for dry dad jokes, And it was like, every time you would pull up to a corner and it said, we'll work for food, somebody had a sign, and he would just look at you and say, yeah, me too. And the first time you're like, what do you mean, me too, what? And he'd say, yeah, I work for food too. How do you think the food is on the table at home? You're like, oh, I guess. Well, like, insert teenage eye roll, shake your head, like, what the fuck? A year later, as you pull up to the intersection, there's a guy there who's like, fuck, it's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again. Like, oh my God, I gotta prepare myself. Here it comes. He looks over and he's just like, me too. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I've been hearing this joke forever. I got it. he didn't have a lot of patience for the easily offended. And I think he passed that on to us. Like, if you're easily offended, it's kind of like go fuck yourself. And he legitimately exuded that as often as possible. And we were like little sponges that, and it's like, if you're easily, kind of go fuck yourself. Like, legitimately, we don't actually care. As an adult, he used to say it a lot. He'd say, and I say it too now, but it's like, who gives a shit? And growing up, you would talk to him, and everybody talks about the bench outside, and or sitting in the porch of my mom's house. He's always smoking, doing something, and he's not really looking at you, but you're complaining about something, or you're just talking about something. And he just kind of, it's not passing you off, but he'll say, who gives a shit? And you just keep sitting there like, I don't know, you're talking about whatever. You're talking about switching jobs. You're talking about changing your major. You're talking about maybe proposing. You're talking about anything in life. And he's just smoking cigs and whatever the fuck. And he's just like, who gives a shit? And one day you realize in life, when I never had a good answer, so I wouldn't say something. And it's like, well, you know, like in my life, it was like, I kind of want those Air Jordans because I want this person to think I'm cool. And you can't say that out loud because it's like, that sounds fucking stupid. So one day I said, I give a shit. And the cigarette goes out, and I'm not staring into the abyss anymore with this person. The cigarette goes out. I'd like to think that the cigarette was almost just started, like it was a brand new cigarette, but maybe the cigarette was done. I don't know. In my head, it was a brand new cigarette. And it goes out, and he turns over and says, well, you give a shit. Now what are you going to do? And it was just like, my mind was blown. It's like this crucible moment in your life. And it's like, you know what? Who gives a shit? He was saying that, but if I can't stand up on my own 2 feet and say, I'm the one that gives a shit, then there's no point in wasting my time. There's no point in wasting my father's time talking about who gives a shit because it's legitimately not important. And once you realize that I give a shit was the right answer, and then it's like all faculties are devoted to what we're talking about. And it's like, oh, will you give a shit? And sometimes it's, well, now what are you going to do? Or, well, now your decision making is so much easier because you're the one that gives a shit. This isn't some social norm that you're worried about. This isn't some political thing that you're worried about. This is some people at work whose opinion you actually don't give a fuck about. Like, you're the one that gives a shit. So now that you're the one that gives a shit,